Hi, good evening. In this session, I am going to discuss C4 pathway, which is also a pathway of the photosynthesis, in which a 4 carbon compound is resulted as a first stable compound, hence it is named as a C4 pathway. Actually, we have discussed C3 plants, but in C3 plants, some now and then when the concentration of the oxygen exceeds that of carbon dioxide, photorespiration takes place. So, plants developed an alternate way to bypass the photorespiration, that is C4 pathway. For the first time, Korchak and Hart are the workers who discovered that there is a 4 carbon compound formed in the photosynthetic pathway as first stable compound. Actually, C3 compound is formed. In C3 cycle we have seen phosphoglyceric acid. But these people, they first discovered that a 4 carbon compound is formed as first stable product of the photosynthetic pathway in some plants. Later, Hutch and Slack, Marshall David Hutch and Charles Roger Slack, simply they are called as Hutch and Slack, they discovered the C4 pathway in the sugar cane. So, sugar cane is a plant in which Hutch Slack discovered the C4 pathway. Here, more than 13 families of the plants are exhibiting the C4 pathway. That includes like Nyctaginaceae, Asteraceae, Graminae, Cyperaceae, Amaranthaceae. Such families, they have plants that exhibit the C4 pathway, and near about 8,100 plants, they are exhibiting the C4 pathway, and mostly the C4 plants are monocotyledons. So 40% of the monocotyledons are exhibiting the C4 pathway. Of course, in some dicots also C4 pathway is present. 4.5% of the dicots they exhibit the C4 pathway. Actually, C4 pathway is also called as DCA cycle, dicarboxylic acid cycle. As a dicarboxylic acid known as oxaloacetic acid is produced as first stable compound of this photosynthetic pathway. This is called DCA cycle. So TCA cycle is different. Tricarboxylic acid cycle, that is nothing but citric acid cycle, Krebs cycle, and this is called DCA cycle. DCA cycle is a photosynthetic cycle, whereas the TCA cycle is a part of respiration. Here, C4 cycle or DCA cycle or Hutch-Slack cycle, it is named after the workers who discovered that. In honor to them, it is named as Hutch and Slack, Hutch-Slack pathway. And the same is called beta carboxylation pathway. So, beta carboxylation pathway, dicarboxylic acid cycle or DCA cycle or C4 cycle or Hutch-Slack pathway. These are the names. Here, for the occurrence of the C4 cycle, we need an anatomical adaptation. That is nothing but Cranch anatomy. So, what it is Cranch anatomy? The term Cranch anatomy was given by Heberland. Heberland is a worker who coined the term Cranch anatomy. Actually, Cranch is a German word which stands for wreath. Actually, wreath or garland or crown or a ring. Depending on that, the name is derived. Actually, in the monocots or in the plants which exhibit the C4 pathway, bundle is surrounded by a bundle sheath. Of course, in dicards also bundle sheath present. But the difference is bundle sheath of the monocots, they consist of chloroplasts. So that's the difference. Whereas in the case of the bundle sheath of the dicotyledonous leaves, they do not contain the chloroplast. Here, in monocot leaf, we come across through two different types of chloroplasts. What are they? Some chloroplasts are generally present in mesophyll cells, we know. And some other chloroplasts are present in bundle sheath cells. Bundle sheath cells also consist of chloroplasts. So bundle sheath with chloroplasts looks like a wreath or garland surrounding the bundle. So depending on that, the name is derived Cranch anatomy, that was given by Haberland. And here actually two different types of chloroplasts are present in C4 plants. In mesophyll cells, the chloroplasts which are present in mesophyll cells are called as granule chloroplasts. Granule means in which grana is well developed. And whereas in the case of bundle sheath cells, there grana not present. Only stromathylakoids are found some here and there, found scattered. So well-organized grana is not present. Hence agranule chloroplast. Agranule chloroplasts are present in bundle sheath cells, whereas the granule chloroplasts are present in mesophyll cells. Like this, within the same leaf, two different types of chloroplasts are present. That is why it is called dimorphic chloroplasts, and the phenomenon is said to be chloroplast dimorphism. Chloroplast dimorphism, this is present in C4 plants. Coming to the structure of the chloroplasts of two different types of cells like mesophyll cells and bundle sheath cells. If you check the chloroplasts of the mesophyll cells, there the chloroplasts are small in size and less in number, and they have grana. They are smaller, they are less in number. Whereas in the case of bundle sheath cells, these are larger, they are more in number, grana is absent, only stromathylakoids are present. Here well developed grana is present now, so that they are called granule chloroplast. Here grana as it is absent, agranule chloroplasts. In the grana, thylakoids consist of two photosystems, PS1, PS2. But here stroma only present, grana not present, only stromathylakoids are present in the bundle sheath cells. Hence here only PS1 is present, because PS1 is present, it is also present in the grana, it is also present in the stromathylakoids also. In stromathylakoids PS2 absent, only the grana thylakoids only PS2 present. So that as stromathylakoids only present in the bundle sheath cells, here only cyclic photophosphorylation takes place. Photolysis of water does not take place. When photolysis of water does not take place, no evolution of the oxygen. NADPH2 not formed, photolysis does not occur, oxygen is not evolved in bundle sheath cells as grana is absent. And all these events occur in the mesophyll cells, because in mesophyll cells granule chloroplasts are present, well developed grana is present. So in the grana, thylakoids are present now. On the thylakoid membrane, both the PS1 and PS2 photosystems are present now. Hence there cyclic photophosphorylation occur, even non-cyclic photophosphorylation occur. ATPs are formed, NADPH2 are formed, photolysis of water takes place, oxygen is also evolved. So oxygen is evolved in mesophyll cells, not evolved in bundle sheath cells. In mesophyll cells, ATPs and NADPH2 are formed, but in the bundle sheath cells, only ATPs are formed, no NADPH2 and no oxygen. Like that, if you take mesophyll cells, there PEP carboxylase is present. In bundle sheath cells, REBP carboxylase is present. So truly Kelvin cycle takes place in bundle sheath cells. So glucose is not synthesized in mesophyll cells, just carbon dioxide fixed, and glucose is synthesized in bundle sheath cells. So like this, there are two different types of chloroplasts in C4 plants. The process, the phenomenon is called as chloroplast dimorphism, dimorphic chloroplasts, and anatomical adaptation is Cranch anatomy, the term derived from German language. Okay, coming to the mechanism of the C4 pathway. Actually, from the atmosphere, carbon dioxide enters into the cytoplasm of the mesophyll cells. Now, the carbon dioxide reacts with water, resulting in the formation of bicarbonate ions, SCO3. Under influence of carbonic anhydrase enzyme, carbon dioxide and water react, resulting in the formation of these ions, SCO3 minus ions. Now here I have written 6. For instance, means to produce a complete glucose molecule, 6 turns of C4 cycle should occur as in C3 cycle. If you take 1 carbon dioxide, 1 SCO3 resulted, this carbon dioxide which is in the form of SCO3 now reacts with phosphoenol pyruvic acid. In the C3 cycle, only 1 carbon dioxide acceptor, that is REBP. But in the C4 cycle, there are 2 carbon dioxide acceptors. One is PEP and one is REBP. PEP is present in which cells? Mesophyll cells. Whereas REBP is present in bundle sheath cells. PEP carboxylase are present in mesophyll cells. This is mesophyll. REBP and REBP carboxylase are present in bundle sheath cells. Bundle sheath cells. So there are 2 acceptors, primary acceptor, secondary acceptor. Primary acceptor of carbon dioxide is PEP. Secondary acceptor of carbon dioxide is REBP. Primary acceptor present in mesophyll cells, whereas the secondary acceptor is present in the bundle sheath cells. First, carbon dioxide entered into the cytoplasm. There it reacts with water, resulting in the formation of SCO3. Now, PEP react with this SCO3 minus, resulting in the formation of 4 carbon compound. That is nothing but oxaloacetic acid. So this is the dicarboxylic acid that consists of 2 carboxyl groups. Hence, it is called DCA cycle, dicarboxylic acid cycle. So oxaloacetic acid is the first stable compound that is produced in the cytoplasm of the mesophyll cells in the C4 plants. Now, this oxaloacetic acid, which is resulted in the cytoplasm, enters into the chloroplast. There, this oxaloacetic acid, it undergo reduction under influence of malic dehydrogenase enzyme. It consumes NADPH, which acts as hydrogen donor and which reduces the oxaloacetic acid into the malic acid. If you take 1 carbon dioxide, 1 malic acid. If you take 6 carbon dioxides, 6 malic acid molecules. Now, the malic acid is formed in chloroplast of mesophyll cells. All the mesophyll cells and bundle sheath cells are connected through the cytoplasmic connections, plasmodesmata, cytoplasmic passages among the cells. Now, through the plasmodesmata, this malic acid now it enters into the bundle sheath cells. In bundle sheath cells, malic acid undergoes decarboxylation as well as oxidation, both. But our focus is on decarboxylation. So here, carbon dioxide is removed from the malic acid. Malic acid consists of 4 carbons because It is formed from oxaloacetic acid, which is resultant of the PEP carboxylation. In PEP, there is a 3 carbon compound and 1 carbon dioxide is reacting. In carbon dioxide, 1 carbon, PEP 3 carbons, together 4 carbons. So the malic acid also 4 carbons are there. Now it undergoes a oxidative decarboxylation. Oxidation takes place, even decarboxylation takes place. That results in the formation of, already 4 carbons are there, one is removed in the form of carbon dioxide, hence only 3 carbon compound is resulted, that is nothing but pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid is a 3 carbon compound which is produced in bundle sheath cells. Now carbon dioxide released and the H2 also removed from the malic acid, the same is added to NAD plus coenzyme, that is reduced to NADPH. So NADPH formed. So NAD is reduced whereas the malic acid is oxidized under influence of malic and NADP enzyme. Malic enzyme we call generally it. Now pyruvic acid is resulted, 3 carbon compound. This pyruvic acid is transported back into the mesophyll cells. Here 2 organic acids are transported, we should focus on that. The organic acid which is produced in mesophyll cells and that is transported into the bundle sheath cells is malic acid, 4 carbon compound. Whereas the organic acid which is produced in bundle sheath cells and transported back into the mesophyll cells is pyruvic acid, that is 3 carbon compound. Now in this oxidative decarboxylation, a carbon dioxide is resulted. If 6 moles of malic acid is present, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide will be released. And this is available for the RUBP carboxylase. Rubisco enzyme and RUBP are present in the bundle sheath cells. Now, this RUBP react with 6 molecules of RUBP react with 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, resulting in the formation of 12 molecules of phosphoglyceric acid as in C3 cycle. Whatever the reactions takes place in C3 cycle, the same series of reactions takes place even here in the bundle sheath cells, nothing but Calvin cycle. Calvin cycle is operated. So that finally glucose is produced. Now the pyruvic acid which is transported back into the mesophyll cells, that will regenerate the PEP. Because it may be PEP or RUBP, these are carbon dioxide acceptors. They should be continuously regenerated for the continuation of the cycle, because to produce a complete glucose molecule, 6 turns of C4 cycle should take place. For 1 turn, 1 PEP consumed, so that should be regenerated. So here pyruvic acid involves in the regeneration of PEP. Every time it regenerates PEP, it consumes 2 ATPs. Here I have shown 6 molecules are there, 6 into 2, 12 ATPs. Under influence of pyruvate phosphate dikinase, PPDK, it regenerates the PEP. And here in the bundle sheath cells also, same regeneration of RUBP occurs. For 1 cycle, for 1 turn of C4 cycle, 1 NADPH consumed in mesophyll cells, 2 ATPs are consumed in mesophyll cells for 1 turn of cycle. And here for 1 turn of cycle, 3 ATPs are consumed, 2 NADPH are consumed. We know this, the calculation from the C3 cycle. So in total, for the reduction of 1 carbon dioxide or for the occurrence of 1 C4 cycle or for the production of 1/6 part of the glucose, how much assimilatory power is required? What is the assimilatory power? ATP and NADPH. What is the assimilatory power unit for the C4 plants? For the C3 plants, it is 3 ATPs, 2 NADPH. For C4 plants, to reduce 1 carbon dioxide, how much assimilatory power is required is the question. You see, for the reduction of 1 carbon dioxide or for the occurrence of 1 C4 cycle, 2 ATPs are consumed every time in the mesophyll cells and 3 ATPs are consumed in bundle cells. Together 5 ATPs. 1 NADPH is consumed in mesophyll cells and 2 NADPH are consumed in bundle cells. 1 plus 2, 3. So 5 ATPs and 3 NADPH is the assimilatory power unit of C4 plants. To produce 1/6 part of the glucose or for the occurrence of 1 turn of C4 cycle or for the reduction of 1 carbon dioxide, we need 5 ATPs, 3 NADPH. Of that 5 ATPs, 2 ATPs are consumed in mesophyll cells. 3 ATPs are consumed in bundle cells. Of these 3 NADPH, 1 NADPH is consumed in mesophyll cells. 2 NADPH are consumed in bundle cells. Like this, 1 unit of assimilatory power for C4 plants is 5 ATPs and 3 NADPH. But to produce a complete glucose molecule, how many tons of C4 cycle should take place or how many carbon dioxide molecules should be reduced is the question. To produce a complete glucose molecule, 6 tons of C4 cycle should take place or 6 carbon dioxide should be reduced. For 1 carbon dioxide, if this much assimilatory power is required, for 6 carbon dioxides, how much assimilatory power is required? You can multiply this assimilatory power unit with 6. By that you will get 6 into 5 ATPs, that equal to 30 ATPs and 6 into 3 NADPH, that equal to 18 NADPH. So this is the assimilatory power that is required for the formation of a glucose molecule through the C4 cycle. For the occurrence of 1 cycle, 5 ATPs, 3 NADPH. For occurrence of 6 cycles, 30 ATPs and 18 NADPH. Of this 18 NADPH, 6 NADPH are consumed in mesophyll cells, 12 NADPH are consumed in bundle cells. Of these 30 ATPs, 12 ATPs are consumed in mesophyll cells and 18 ATPs are consumed in bundle cells. Because in bundle cells, C3 cycle is operated, Kelvin cycle is operated. So how much assimilatory power is consumed in Kelvin cycle? The same amount of assimilatory power consumed in bundle cells of the C4 plants, because here also C3 cycle is operated. Okay. Totally, how many ATPs are consumed for the reduction and how many ATPs are consumed for the regeneration is a question. Of these 18 ATPs, 12 ATPs are consumed for the reduction of that phosphoglyceraldehyde and the remaining 6 ATPs are consumed for the regeneration of REBP. Here 6 ATPs for the regeneration of REBP. Here 12 ATPs for the regeneration of PEP. Together 18 ATPs out of 30 ATPs, 18 ATPs are needed for the regeneration and 12 ATPs are needed for the reduction step. Like this, to produce a molecule of glucose, here how many tons of C4 cycle is needed? It is needed 6 tons of C4 cycle. For the occurrence of 1 C4 cycle, 5 ATPs, 3 NADPH.